Ooh,
Back in
boy,
Boston,
street
baby.
fight tonight, baby.
Yes,
Steve
sir.
Generico, I don't know how y'all managed to get yourself into this.
Hey, but this right up our alley, boy.
Boy, tonight,
Right up our alley.
you talking about man up.
Non-sanctioned.
You talking about man up.
It's time to man up, boy.
After the night, hey, look at this, Mark. They're gonna be like this.
Walking on these
Hey,
things.
carry them out like this.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Look.
Hold up, both of them.
Look, looking like that. Both of them. Looking like that. Both of them. Man up tonight, street fight Boston. It's on, baby.
Introducing first, from Othello, Washington, weighing 207 pounds, representing the new Introducing next, from Brooklyn, Washington, weighing 168 pounds, Jack Evans.
It is August 10th, 2007, and Ring of Honor is here in Roxbury, Massachusetts at the Reggie Lewis Track and Athletic Center here on the campus of Roxbury Community College. Death Before Dishonor 5 weekend begins.
And right outside Boston, Davey Richards jumping all over Jack Evans right at the bell, not even giving Jack a chance to get ready. Fires him into the corner, charges with a head of steam, and connects with the clothesline.
And takes off the head of Jack Evans with a clothesline. It is all Davey Richards here in the early going of this one.
Well, the theme of this weekend is going to be non-sanctioned street fights, both tonight here in Boston and tomorrow in Philadelphia.
Oh, he's going for the DR driver right off the bat. But Jack lands on his feet now, kicking away the legs of Davey Richards. Looks like Evans with a flurry now. Able to land on his feet and connect with the K.
Just staggered Richards there with an angered look on his face. Catches Evans, but gets run right into the head scissors. Evans staying right on top of the reversal by Richards, sends it to the ropes. Charges, met with a drop kick. Evans, look at the agility, lands on his feet. Springboard, but caught and planted.
Big powerbomb from Richards. The stretch muffler cinched in. We can see a submission right here. Cranking away on it. But Jack Evans trying to crawl toward that rope to force the break of the hold. A lot of pain, but he reaches the ropes and Davey Richards releases.
See, Richard almost had the toe of Jack Evans' foot touching the back of his head.
We've seen that on many occasions as Jack head first into the steel barricade.
He just bounced face first off the steel, and Richards right outside as this war between the Resilience and Jack Evans rages on.
Again, head first into the steel. And we will see more of war. As you said, it's all about non-sanctioned street fights tonight. It'll be the Briscoes taking on Kevin Steen and El Generico non-sanctioned.
Oh, that one has been an absolute war. It's been going on for months. The tag title's not on the line tonight, but someone is going to leave here in a lot of pain, that's for sure.
Davey Richards now. Sort of faking him out on the chop and just takes a cheap little shot at Jack Evans while spitting at the official. Davey Richards, a member of the No Remorse Corps, showing no remorse for any of his actions here in Roxbury.
A headbutt right between the eyes. Jack Evans obviously dazed right there out on the floor as Richards looks to continue the assault. Off the guardrail. Connecting with that kick. Evans driving the boot right into the face of Davey Richards.
Bringing these fans to their feet, brings the action back inside, as well as himself. Down across the chest of Davey Richards, but he's able to kick out.
Jack Evans with some momentum coming in tonight. He defeated Roderick Strong in that tremendous battle back in Osaka. Now takes the battle to the No Remorse Corps right back to the United States. Standing moonsault off the chest. Cover.
You know that Jack Evans wants to get his hands on Rocky Romero of the No Remorse Corps. It was Rocky that knocked out Jack Evans in Chicago back at Good Times, Great Memories. But he's got to get past Davey Richards first in order to get that matchup against Rocky Romero.
Right now he's got to find a way to catch his breath as he was just dumped stomach and chest first on the top rope by Richards, who was giving himself a chance to recuperate here as he turns his attention back to Jack Evans, picks him back up by the head and sends him off the ropes. Hard elbow takes him down hard.
Evans has said that he's going to form his own group here in ROH to do battle with the No Remorse Corps. We have yet to see him really recruit anyone to join him at his side. This snap suplex there from Davey Richards, but unable to keep him down and now taking issue with some of the fans.
Not one to make friends or anybody really in the No Remorse Corps. Richards very distasteful in his actions towards the fans here in Roxbury.
Headbutt connected full force, and he's got Evans down on his back. Now, Evans certainly has his hands full with all the members of the No Remorse Corps. Has already signed for Cage Rage later this month. Will be Jack Evans versus Roderick Strong inside of a steel cage.
Another near fall for Richards. Beautiful belly-to-back suplex. And again, it lacks cover. Unable to keep Evans down past the count of two as the crowd trying to rally Evans back to his feet, firing away at the midsections. Forearm shot, but Richards goes right to the eyes and stops him in his tracks.
Took that shortcut, whatever he can to stop the momentum of Jack Evans, but a very athletic individual able to land on his feet. Another big kick upside the head.
That one definitely dazed Richards, but quickly regains his faculties for the moment, reverses the Irish whip, and the head scissors takes him all the way out to the floor.
Gotta keep your eye on Jack Evans, known to take risks. And that's why I call it a high-risk maneuver. Going for a maneuver like that left himself wide open for Davey Richards to nail him with another kick.
Just drove the boot right into the forehead of Jack Evans. All of Jack's momentum as he was about to launch himself over the top rope comes to a screeching halt. As Richards now taking issue with the officials at ringside before making his way back to the ring.
Evans holding his head as Richards looks to continue the beating. Backbreaker right over the knee. Lateral press, not hooking the leg though, and Evans able to fight to get that shoulder off the canvas.
Quickly turns it into a version of the camel clutch.
He's trying to take all of the energy out of Jack Evans here. Pulling back on the chin. This crowd encouraging Jack Evans to fight his way back up to his feet.
So Richards focusing a lot of his attack on the back of Jack Evans. As you said, looking to slow him down and eliminate, the quickness advantage that Jack Evans has over Richards, and doing it again here with the head scissors. Again, trying to cut the flow of oxygen as well. Trying to sap the strength out of Jack Evans.
And if he damages the back of Jack Evans, that could effectively take the 630 out of his repertoire as he comes crashing down on his opponent back first. So he reaches the ropes once again, and there's another kick to the back from Davey Richards.
Just stepping on the throat. Reapplying the count. Richards breaking before the count of 5, but Jack Evans has got to mount some offense here, as he has been getting punished for several minutes.
And he's trying his best, firing away at the midsection of Richards. They're going to send Jack off now. Connects with the elbow, springboarding off the second rope. He's got Davey Richards stunned and down on the mat. And this gives Jack an opportunity to catch his breath, trying to fight back up to his feet.
Here the crowd again urging Evans to do just that, but it looks like it's Richards who's going to get to his feet first and gain the advantage with a knee to the midsection. Another headbutt from Richards. Measures him, but gets caught with a forearm by Evans. Jack firing back.
Getting a burst of energy. Series of forearm strikes from Evans. He's got Richards, reversal of the whip. Flying knee strike from Jack Evans. Over.
Only able to get two. Richards with a dazed look on his face as Evans looks to maintain the advantage. Handspring elbow over the top all the way to the floor, but quickly right back on his feet.
And a spinning springboard kick sends Richards across the ring and all the way out to the floor once again.
Evans taking a chance, it pays off. He wipes out Richards on the floor, throws him back under the bottom rope. Might be looking for the 630 here. He's got him towards the corner.
His back has been softened up by Davey Richards thus far in the match. Can he pull it off without doing too much damage to himself? Rolls through as Richards moved out of the way.
To the midsection, DR driver. Evans blocks.
Almost had him. Enziguri from Richards.
Oh, Evans is out.
Oh, what a German! He landed right on his head. Richards holding onto the waistlock.
Evans struggling to try and make it to the ropes. Has the arms trapped.
Straight jacket suplex. But only two. Richards can't believe it. Two high-impact suplexes from Davey Richards that have Jack Evans land right on his head, right on his neck. But he couldn't keep him down for the 3 count, and now taking issue with the official. And he's trying to lay down the law. He is the authority in this matchup, and Richards needs to realize that.
Davey better be careful. He'll very easily get fined, putting his hands on an official. Finally turning his attention back to Jack Evans. Elbows to the back. Continuing to soften him up.
For maybe a gut-wrench suplex. Jack trying to fight it off, lands on his feet. Kick to the back of the head.
Only two, the reverse Rana. So close, but Evans couldn't put him away.
Drove the head of Davey Richards into the canvas. Richards able to kick out somehow, and now Jack to the top once again.
Oh, but Richards able to see it and get to his feet. Crotches Jack.
You see superplex, maybe a top rope Hurricane Rana here from Davey Richards. Evans fighting it off though. Got Davey Richards. Oh, knee strikes now from Jack Evans.
Just driving the knee to the chin. Has him set up in the trio roll.
Double knees to the chest. Evans looking to finish the job.
Richards is in big trouble. He's not moving. Jack up top.
Wait! That's Roderick Strong! Roderick Strong just shoved him to the floor!
Well, that's got to be a disqualification.
Jack Evans! In 2 weeks, Hartford, Connecticut, a steel cage. I end this once and for all.
Putting the boots on. Here come the Resilience! The Resilience are here to battle the No Remorse Corps. This is a preview of tomorrow night's street fight in Philadelphia.
match. No more of this NARC BS. I'm gonna go get people to have my back.
Tell me exactly what am I supposed to do? How can I ever allowed you to beat me? Do you think that we can play another game? Maybe I could win this time. Kinda like the misery you put me through. Darling, you can't trust me completely. If you even try to look the other way, I think that I could kill this time.
Introducing first, from Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Yeah, sensimina, ganja weed, you know. Yeah, we look and say,
introducing next, from Forest Park, Illinois, Daisy Hayes.
Referee Paul Turner calls for the opening bell as the code of honor is followed by these two women athletes, Daisy Hayes versus Lacey, #1 contenders match to determine who will face the American Angel Sarah Del Rey tomorrow in Philadelphia for the Shimmer Championship.
And the heated rivalry between Lacey and the Hayes continues here in Boston. They've been feuding all year, particularly here in the Boston area where Lacey jumped Hayes the last time we were in this building. Quite a heated rivalry between these two athletes.
Seeing these women involved in mixed tag team matches, street fights, just brutalizing one another all over the ROH venues. And Daisy Hayes, with the baseball slide drop kick, sends Lacey down to the floor.
In the back of her head, hitting the steel guardrail, and the Hayes on the outside looking to do some more damage. Sends her crashing to the steel.
Two of the top female competitors, two of the women of honor, going at it here to determine who will get that first Shimmer title shot on an ROH event, as Ring of Honor has made the decision to recognize the Shimmer Championship.
Hayes with a boot to the midsection and continuing to club away on the back of Lacey.
Takes the action back inside the ring, does the Hayes. Quickly going for the cover, but Lacey able to kick out. Of course, the American Angel, Sarah Del Rey, here tonight, keeping an eye on the ring during this matchup, as she needs to take a look at just what they bring to the table tonight. The night before, she will have to face one of these two women with that belt on the line.
Inside cradle for a near fall. Lacey right back up, though. Forearm shiver in the corner. Paul Turner asking her to get off the hair. Another forearm shot from Lacey. Chin breaker, though, by the Hayes. Right back to her feet, boot to the midsection.
Gets the vertical suplex with the bridge, trying to keep those shoulders down, but Lacey gets her shoulder up. These two women met in the semifinals of the Shimmer title tournament back on June the 2nd near Chicago. And it was Lacey that worked her way to the finals to take on Sarah Del Rey. So it's either an opportunity for Lacey to get one more opportunity, one more shot at earning that championship, or it's an opportunity for Daisy Hayes to take advantage of Lacey here, the woman who was able to defeat her in the semifinals and work her way into a title matchup in Philadelphia tomorrow night.
It's again Lacey out on the floor. The Hayes connecting with the boot. Lacey in some difficulty on the outside there.
Trying to shake off the effects. Maybe trying to set the pace of this match herself rather than let Daisy Hayes set the pace, but Daisy isn't going to wait. Went to the top rope, but paid the price is now Lacey with control of Daisy Hayes and drops her throat first over the top rope.
Yeah, it looked like Lacey may have been playing possum on the outside there, kind of suckered Hayes into trying a high-impact maneuver off the top, and it certainly backfired on the Hayes, another near fall.
We've seen Daisy Hayes have her fair share of battles against Sarah Del Rey here in ROH competition. They had a match back at Respect is Earned, one of the bonus matches on that DVD release. As well, Daisy Hayes was actually able to pin Sarah Del Rey before Sarah became the Shimmer champion. Oh, hard chop across the chest. That was back at This Means War 2 in Long Island. Another hard chop from Lacey.
Oh, look at the pain on the face of the Hayes from that impact of those chops. Tried to reverse the Irish whip, but sent chest first to the buckle.
Softening up the back of Daisy Hayes with a couple of kicks as Lacey has got her position in the corner, that back wide open as Lacey charges, went for the knee, but Daisy moved out of the way. Body scissors, trying to keep the shoulders of Lacey down against the canvas, but only a near fall. And the spin kick right to the jaw of Daisy Hayes.
Dropped Daisy right in her tracks. Quickly, Lacey in the mounted position, raining down right hands on the Hayes, pins the shoulders down to the canvas, but a bridge, only able to get a near fall.
Able to break that bridge with one slap right to the midsection of Daisy Hayes.
You mentioned Hayes having a rivalry not just with Lacey, but with Sarah Del Rey. Quite a different rivalry with both these ladies. The rivalry between her and Lacey is much more personal. You've seen the wars that they were involved in with Jimmy Jacobs, who is not here this weekend, still out rehabbing his knee and not on the road. Usually see him and Lacey side by side. And more of an athletic rivalry with Sarah Del Rey over the Shimmer Women's title now. So quite a dichotomy between the two adversaries here.
Yeah, it's a fight, it's a battle between two women who hate each other in the case of Lacey and Daisy Hayes, and it's more of an athletic competition between the Hayes and Sarah Del Rey. As full Nelson applied, Lacey drops down. Seated position now, looking for a submission out of Daisy Hayes, and it's right in the middle of the ring.
Also has the legs wrapped around the midsection, taking more of the oxygen out of Daisy, making it very difficult for her to breathe. Rolls her onto her stomach now. We're motioning for her to get back to her feet. Another shot to the midsection.
And for that implant DDT is Lacey. Oh, she's got her up in the Royal Butterfly, looking at Sarah Del Rey on the ramp. Sarah Del Rey's own finishing hold, trying to rub it in the face of Del Rey.
I'm the best wrestler in the world!
Best wrestler in the world. Well, you got to get past Daisy Hayes tonight to get the title shot tomorrow. Quick roll up. So very close right there. And again, a near fall there for Daisy Hayes. Lacey right back to her feet and connects with the boot. Now right across the throat.
Once again, unable to keep the shoulders down for more than that 2 count, but very, very close was the Hayes to earning that title shot tomorrow night in Philly. Able to duck the right hand. Another chop to the chest, kick to the back again. Series of them now.
Trying to work over that back. We've seen Lacey twice now get her in position for that implant DDT, but Daisy Hayes able to fight it off and gets the boot into the midsection of Lacey as she came charging into the corner. Charges in once again, connects with the elbow to the chest of Lacey this time.
Third time, went for it, and again, caught by the Hayes, this time with the lariat out of the corner. Up on the second, the Hayes now all the way up top, perched. Missile drop kick connects.
And that connected full force with the chest of Lacey. Cover! No, only a near fall. Lacey gets her shoulder up. Which of these two women will get the opportunity to go after the Shimmer Championship tomorrow in Philadelphia?
Hard forearm. And now Hayes just firing right back.
Both of these women just dishing out the punishment on one another. Big running forearm off the ropes this time with extra momentum.
Oh, but Lacey right back up off the ropes. Oh, she just poked her in the eyes.
Going for that implant DDT. Roll up by the Hayes. Only two.
Once again, Lacey able to power out before that count of three. Hayes ducks the clothesline. German suplex with a bridge.
Not quite enough. 2.5 right there for Daisy Hayes.
Paul Turner right there with the count, but Lacey able to get the shoulder up, looking for the heart punch.
Lacey works her way out of that position. Got her up on the shoulders, looking for that TKO neckbreaker possibly, but Daisy fights her way off the shoulders. Heart punch, connects, going for the mind trip. Blocked. Lung blower from Lacey. Got Daisy by the hair. Implant DDT, cover. And that is 3. Lacey earns the title shot tomorrow night against Sarah Del Rey for the Shimmer Championship.
It doesn't get any bigger than this for these women athletes.
Tell me exactly what am I supposed to do now that I am allowed
That's
you
not the fight for tonight! My belt!
we can find it on the day.
You look perfect! Right here!
Introducing first, be accompanied by Larry Sweeney, Dick Cohen, Sarah Del Rey, and Bobby Lashley. From Metropolis, weighing 240 pounds, Chris Hero.
Let's hear him.
Chris Hero, Nigel, here are the rules for this match. Make sure you understand them fully. You each get 3 rope breaks to break up a pinfall submission attempt. Once you use those 3 rope breaks, the ropes are in play and can be used by your opponent, but they cannot be used by you to break up a pin or a submission. There is a strict 20 count on the floor. There are to be no closed fist strikes to the face. On the first closed fist, you'll be given a warning. On the second, you'll be penalized a rope break. And if you have no rope breaks left, you'll be disqualified. You both understand these rules? Okay, I want you to shake hands and go to your corners and wait for the bell.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I got a few things to say. You see, none of this. I want none of this. All right, now listen up, you whiny scumbag. All right. Larry Sweeney and Chris Hero have done a lot of preparation for this contest. We've combed the rule book, baby, and we have come up with a few pure wrestling commandments that we would like to share with you right now. Number 1, thou shalt not interrupt the magnificent athletic displays of an athlete the caliber, the likes of a Chris Hero. Is that understood? Pure Wrestling Commandment numero 2. Thou shalt not be British. Otherwise, said British person forfeits all rope breaks. Okay, commandment number 3. Thou shalt keep your dirty, limey hands off the likes of sweet and sour Larry Sweeney. Whoa! And last but not least, hey, pay attention. My personal favorite, thou shalt not use closed fists or clotheslines. That's right. So listen up, you piece of trash. We want a fair fight, all right, ref? You keep your eye on it.
Code of Honor not followed by Chris Hero and gets kicked in the ass by Nigel McGuinness. Handshake for Larry Sweeney, handshake for Tank Toland, for Sarah Del Rey, and not for Big Bad Bobby Dempsey. As we are ready for, and Bobby Dempsey gets kicked right in the gut all the way out to the floor. Pure Wrestling rules. The first Pure Wrestling matchup here in Ring of Honor since the Pure title ceased to exist at Unified, when it was Bryan Danielson defeating Nigel McGuinness to unify the World and Pure titles. It will be McGuinness taking on Chris Hero. Pure Wrestling rules in this match.
The Pure rules are a 20 count on the floor. You're not allowed to use a closed fist. The first time is a warning from the referee. The second time will cost you a rope break penalty. If you are out of rope breaks, it is then a disqualification. You have 3 rope breaks you can use to escape either a submission or a pinfall. And after you have utilized all 3 of your rope breaks, the ropes are then in play and cannot be used to save you from a pin or a submission, and your opponent can use the ropes to his advantage.
Right now it's McGuinness controlling the arm of Chris Hero and showing off his athleticism. Back to his feet, swats away, and Chris Hero is a very agile performer. Very acrobatic, I guess. Showing off his agility.
He's making an idiot out of himself.
Skinning the cat and making an idiot out of himself. And out to the floor. And doing some laps.
Giving high fives and getting a little cardio before his match, apparently.
Back inside the ring is Chris Hero.
Some of the fans here appreciative of the athletic skills of Chris Hero. Nigel McGuinness with a rather bemused smirk on his face as he sits in the corner waiting for Chris Hero to finish his shenanigans.
I didn't hear you when you were listening to Pure Wrestling Rules. You didn't mention about how if you are British, you are disqualified. That is what Larry Sweeney proclaimed were the rules in the matchup. That's not true?
No, those 4 amendments, commandments, whichever one he wanted to use, depending on his new added stipulation to the rules, are not in effect here.
Whoa.
Wait a second.
What's with the lights?
Project 161 is coming. Project 161 is real. Project
cut the mic.
Yeah, somebody grab that second mic off the table. Cut it out.
This is
Wait, cut that mic.
161. Be ready. Project 161. Project 161.
All right, we got the lights back on.
161.
Wait.
Project 161.
All right, Chris Hero and Nigel McGuinness, Pure Wrestling Rules. Let's stay focused on the match here. The match at hand.
Project 161. Project 161. Project 161. Project 161.
Stay on the ring. Some fans are trying to make a name for themselves here. At the expense of the show, at the expense of the performers, we're not going to allow that to happen. Nigel McGuinness, any fans who paid attention to Ring of Honor during Nigel's Pure title reign, many consider him to be the best Pure Wrestling champion in ROH history. This is a match style that he has perfected as champion, and Chris Hero's really going into a match like this as the underdog. Chris Hero talking to ring announcer Bobby Cruz.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hero would like to inform referee Todd Sinclair that during the blackout, Nigel McGuinness used all 3 of his rope breaks.
Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous. He did not use all 3 rope breaks. This guy is unbelievable.
And Todd Sinclair is not going to believe that whatsoever. Nobody's going to believe that. Nice try, Sweeney.
Obviously, Sweeney and Hero trying to get inside the head of Nigel McGuinness here.
There's a reason that Nigel McGuinness held on to the Pure Championship for so very long. How he was able to take on a who's who of scientific wrestlers, mat technicians, and retain that championship during his reign. It's because he is such a skilled performer, a skilled wrestler. It's Chris Hero getting back inside the ring now.
Informing the fans that he has a right to complain.
Yeah, but Nigel doesn't let his opponents get into his head. Otherwise, he would have been taken off his game a long time ago in Pure Rules matches.
Really wrenching down on the wrist lock now as we'll finally get back to restarting this matchup.
Both of these wrestlers with a decidedly British influence on their style. Chris Hero competed throughout Europe for quite a bit of time in the past 3 or 4 years at various points during his career, and he added European influence to his style. Of course, Nigel McGuinness, being a Brit himself, naturally has some very excellent European uppercuts in his repertoire. Both men like to utilize the cravat, the 3/4 chancery.
You see Hero attempt to escape the hold with a scoop and a slam, but McGuinness just tenacious, hanging on to the wrist. Driving pressure down into the shoulder as well of Hero.
Not allowing Hero to get back to a standing position. Trying his best, now he is back up, but Nigel maintaining that wrist lock.
Hero looking for an escape, grabs control of the wrist, but quickly countered with a cravat by McGuinness.
Just wrenching away on the neck of Chris Hero. Hero likes to utilize a variation of the cravat. It's almost like an STF down on the canvas with the step over toe hold and the cravat applied. He calls it the hangman's clutch. And in a pure wrestling rules matchup like this, you might see Chris Hero want to use that maneuver near the ropes, a little bit later in the matchup when he's got Nigel down, to try to entice him to utilize all of his rope breaks. Controlling that wrist once again is McGinnis.
Hero trying to find a way back to his feet as Nigel continues to apply the pressure to the wrist. You see the angle that the wrist and the elbow were both bent at. A lot of pressure on the arms of Chris Hero there. Knee to the midsection though, able to free himself. Elbow to the back of the neck by Hero. Fun face lock. McGinnis trying to step his way through.
Hero trying to maintain it, but Nigel McGinnis comes up with the arm, just working it over. Nigel loves to pick apart the arm and the shoulder of his opponents. And I would not be too surprised if that's exactly what he tries to do during this match as well.
Crowd very evenly split here. Decided early on that both of these athletes have their supporters in full voice as Chris Hero, with the referee distracted by Larry Sweeney, able to utilize the ropes without being cost a rope break to escape the hold.
Well, that's where the numbers game comes into play. Larry Sweeney up on the apron, so the referee didn't see Chris Hero utilize those ropes to work his way out of the hold, and he is not charged with a rope break because the ref didn't see it.
It's the one thing that usually tends to happen to the opponents of a Chris Hero is they have to contend with all of Sweet and Sour Incorporated outside the ring, whether it's Sweeney, Del Rey, Tolan. Yeah, even Bobby Dempsey's going to get involved at some point, I'm sure.
How much damage can Bobby Dempsey do?
Have you ever seen him put away donuts? He does some damage.
Much like Earthquake did a lot of damage. I can feel the tremors. And here we're seeing some of that British influence in the style of Nigel McGinnis as he goes over the top and now backwards through the legs of Chris Hero.
Hero trying to put on the brakes, comes down on the shoulders, only gets a 1 count. Quick reversal by McGinnis for a 2 count. Hero right back onto the shoulders, gets 2 of his own. Nigel with a reversal again, has the shoulders of Hero down. Back and forth they go. Neither man gaining an extended advantage, both men getting 2 counts, but the other man able to get the shoulder up in time.
He takes Nigel down chest first, controlling that arm. And you just take Tolan, just put the foot of Nigel McGinnis across the bottom rope and pointed it out to Todd Sinclair. Take Tolan just stole a rope break away from Nigel McGinnis.
Oh, look at them all pleased as they can be on the outside. Nigel extremely upset, but Todd Sinclair didn't see it, but he turned around and saw the foot on the ropes, and it really did just cost Nigel McGinnis in a big way.
Just taking advantage of referee positioning there. When he wasn't looking, Tolan putting that foot across the bottom rope. And once again, talking to our ring announcer, Bobby Cruz, as Bobby Dempsey does jumping jacks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hero would like to inform Nigel McGinnis that maneuver was only a hammerlock, therefore a waste of a rope break.
A waste of a rope break. He didn't use the ropes. You did it to him. Tolan did it on the outside.
High fives for everybody that's helping him out. This is where if Nigel McGinnis had 3 or 4 people in his corner, it would come in handy. All right, he doesn't need 3 or 4 people in his corner because he is just that good at this style.
That's the difference between Nigel McGinnis and Chris Hero. Hero likes the entourage of Sweet and Sour Incorporated to be with him at all times. Now, I remember that entourage included a guy by the name of Johnny Fairplay back a while ago at Supercard of Honor 2 in March. And Nigel McGinnis had a bit of a message sent to Chris Hero and Sweet and Sour that night when he about ripped the head of Johnny Fairplay off of the lariat.
Yeah, Fairplay's involvement in Sweet and Sour Incorporated lasted all of about 20 minutes that night before he was taken to the hospital.
That night was great.
Controlling the arm of Chris Hero now as it trapped between his legs here as forces the shoulders of Hero to the canvas for a near fall.
You see Hero very close to the ropes. Was considering momentarily maybe using that rope break there, but instead able to make it back to his feet and still maintains that 1 rope break advantage over Nigel McGinnis as McGinnis continues to work over the left arm. And again, trying to drive Hero down to the canvas, does so.
And focus on that arm and that shoulder. McGinnis just driving down onto that shoulder with great force. So you hear Chris Hero screaming in pain as he dished out that punishment.
Nigel now has that forearm trapped as well, really pulling back on it, putting it all the way behind his own back, and then really leaning back. Tremendous pressure on the shoulders and the elbow now of Chris Hero, who has to put his foot on the bottom rope to force the break.
Yeah, Hero had no choice. It was either submit or use the ropes to force a break in the hold and preserve your arm and your shoulder for the remainder of the contest. And use that rope break. And now we are tied. 2 rope breaks remaining for each competitor.
We're back up on the apron. Nigel ready to do battle, but Hero trying to buy some time. Todd Sinclair applies the count. Hero back into the ring and in the corner. Very tentative Chris Hero waiting to lock back up with Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel going after that arm once again, but Hero backing Nigel into the corner here. Referee looking for a clean break.
I don't know if we're going to get it. Trying to separate the two of them all. Hero with the top of the right hand.
Close fist. Ref didn't see it, but he just saw Nigel use the close fist. And there's another one from Hero. And the ref didn't see that one. Oh, we just saw Nigel use a second close fist, and that's going to be a rope break.
Yeah, that first one cost him a warning, but the second one now cost him the rope break. Once again, the position of Todd Sinclair being used against Nigel McGuinness by Chris Hero. And a knee right to the jaw sends McGuinness rolling out to the floor.
Nigel with only 1 rope break remaining in this matchup. Hero with the advantage in terms of the rope breaks.
Yeah, both of them were stolen from Nigel. Basically suckered into one. The second one,
both times it was taking advantage of the referee not being in position to see that Hero and his cronies at ringside, his associates, were using shady tactics against Nigel McGuinness. And now Bobby Dempsey doing squats. Gotta get lower than that, man. And drops the elbow. Pull up your pants. And was that really an elbow drop, or did he just fall?
I think that was just gravity.
I think he just fell. He can't keep his own balance.
Again, Hero had the referee on the opposite side of the ring, so Todd Sinclair didn't see any of that nonsense either. Double axe handle right to the back of the neck. Chop to the chest by Hero. Todd Sinclair starting the count. Remember, they have a 20 count out on the floor.
Nigel firing back. Forearm now from Hero. To a count of 7.
Double thrust now from McGuinness connects on Heroes. Todd Sinclair continues to count. Back fist from Hero connects and rolled under the bottom rope as Sinclair got to the count of 10. Cover here very close to the ropes. Trying to lure McGuinness into maybe using that third rope break right there, but he was able to kick out.
That's part of the big strategy in Pure Wrestling Rules matches. And here's the Hangman's Clutch he's looking for. Trying to grab the head and the cravat, but Nigel trying to block, covering his head so that Chris cannot cinch in the cravat to complete the Hangman's Clutch. But you saw, as he went for the maneuver, it was near the ropes to try to force Nigel to use his third and final rope break.
A very smart block of the move by McGuinness. That goes to show you a guy who knows the ins and outs of that European style. Was able to have a counter for that maneuver. Max Senton only able to get 2, though. Was Chris Hero. As McGuinness able to power out.
See a look of determination on the face of Nigel. As again, Hero pulling him toward the ropes. Trying to lure him into, all you have to do is reach those ropes and he'll let go of the hold.
Oh, just tried to place his foot on the bottom rope and steal another rope break, but Todd Sinclair, thankfully, not having any of it.
Yeah, this time Sinclair realized that he was just trying to trick him into calling for another rope break. Oh, what a thrust from McGuinness.
Knocked all the wind out of Chris Hero, who responds, though, with an elbow to the top of the head. Another thrust from McGuinness knocks Hero down. And now Nigel back up to his feet, but quickly drop kick back to the canvas.
And Nigel's getting back up. Back to his feet. Chop from Hero. Chop from McGuinness. Just laying into one another, another thrust to the throat. European uppercuts, combination from McGinnis.
Series of strikes in the corner by Nigel going to work on Chris Hero. Breaking before Todd Sinclair got to the count of 5. Head of steam from McGinnis. Running European in the corner.
Ducks that lariat attempt. Hero firing back. It was an open hand strike. Charges into the corner. Nigel moves out of the way.
Kick to the back and a clothesline combination. Cover, but only 2. Todd Sinclair right there as Chris Hero is able to get the shoulder up, and it looks like McGinnis, as the crowd is urging him on here, has gotten a second wind. Pitches Hero all the way out to the floor as the back of his head bounces off the steel.
No closed fists, but a whole lot of closed lines for Chris Hero in this match.
And once again, Hero bounces off the guardrail. Oh, Bobby Dempsey.
He can't run that fast.
That is as fast as he can run.
And that's why Nigel was able to easily grab his hair.
You know, Nigel was walking faster than Dempsey was running.
Dempsey's put on a lot more weight since he got out of that hot box. Smothering Chris Hero. He can't get up.
Referee continuing to count.
We can have a count out here. 19. And Hero set back inside.
Back to his feet, very proud that he was able to beat the count, but turn his back on Nigel, European uppercut.
Short arm death avoided. Boot to the side of the head. Front flip neck breaker from Hero. Cover.
Nigel able to kick out, but quickly, again going for the hangman clutch, and one more time, Nigel using his arms to block the cravat.
As soon as he felt that Hero tied up the legs, trying to protect his own head from being in a position where Hero could lock in the cravat.
Hero's gonna have to come up with another way to try and put McGinnis down, because it seems that Nigel has got that move scouted.
He's back to his feet, takes away the balance of Hero. Tower of London. Nails it. But Larry Sweeney with the foot of Chris Hero across the bottom rope, and
That is rope break number 2 for Chris Hero.
And that's gonna be 2 rope breaks apiece now.
but the thing was, I don't think he was necessarily close enough to use the ropes to break that pin attempt. It was Larry Sweeney pulling the body of Chris Hero, so there was just enough of his boot across that rope to force a break.
Oh yeah, Sweeney definitely saved Chris Hero right there because he was out after the Tower of London. European uppercut, double thrust to the throat. Nigel off the ropes, forearm shot. Looking for the jawbreaker, able to avoid it, roaring elbow.
Cover.
Oh, he did it again!
That is the third and final round
for Nigel McGinnis. The ropes cannot save him, and Hero can use the ropes to his advantage. Hangman's clutch cinched in.
Sweeney stole the rope break again from McGinnis, and now he's locked in a Hangman's clutch. He's gonna have to find a way out of the maneuver because the ropes cannot save him.
He's trying to crawl toward the ropes, but it's not gonna help him. Not gonna help him one bit. He needs to somehow work his way out of the hold. Oh, this could be it, and it is.
Well, Chris Hero pulls out the win, and you know Larry Sweeney is heading straight to the pay window. Tough times for Nigel McGinnis.
Tighter. You missed a hole, man. Come on. I'm not paying you for nothing. Well, I'm not paying you, but anyway. Tonight, Steen and Generico here, keep lacing, are taking on the Briscoes in a street fight. And I'll tell you what, I really like that, but it's a shame, it's actually a tragedy that those tag team titles aren't gonna keep lacing on the line tonight. Because there's no way we wouldn't have taken them home with us. But I understand why Ring of Honor officials chose to make this match non-title, because you see, they want it non-sanctioned because they don't want to be held responsible for what I'm gonna do to those two idiots. They don't want to be held responsible for what this guy, and I know he can, and he's gonna show you tonight. You're gonna show them tonight, right? For what we can do to these guys. I guess we're just gonna get those titles another time, but for tonight, we're gonna enjoy seeing them bleed, making them bleed. We're gonna enjoy hurting them. We're gonna enjoy seeing them squeal in pain. And tonight, Briscoes, I may be sitting in it right now, but this wheelchair is what you guys will be leaving in. Now take me to the bathroom. Now! This way. No, this way. This is great Gatorade over there.